just like in sports. When the moment comes where you have to show what you can do, where you have to prove yourself, where the soccer player has to sprint, that's when you gather all your strength and go for the note. Welcome to a new video. Today, I'll explain how you can finally master the high register on your saxophone. What I often hear in lessons is that the note sounds tight, the note cuts out, the note drops down, the note squeaks, the note is too quiet, or the note has a bunch of unwanted noises. Of course, what most people want is a sound that is clear, powerful, full, bright, in tune, and stable. And I can tell you, yes, it is doable. It's not exactly easy to master the high register well, but with a few considerations or prerequisites that you meet, you'll definitely get closer to that goal in a short time. Let's talk about the prerequisites. Number one is your reed shouldn't be too soft and it should be broken in, okay? Of course, the reed should also match the mouthpiece. It's really important that you don't just grab a new reed and expect the high register to work perfectly. You need to make sure the reed matches the mouthpiece, is well broken in, and that you feel comfortable with it. For some people, it also helps. Of course, you have to find a compromise for the rest of the notes on the saxophone if you choose a slightly harder reed. If you have a piece where you know you'll be playing a lot in the high register and maybe also loud, bright, and high, then you can definitely choose a reed that's a bit stronger because you'll have more resistance that way. You simply have more blowing resistance when you blow into the instrument. The big advantage of this is that the tone doesn't get too flat, right? Because if the reed is too soft and you really blow hard into your instrument and put a lot of air in, then the pitch can quickly drop. Important: good posture and a solid stance. When you try to play high, loud, and bright, ground yourself, okay? Both feet on the floor, stand firmly, all right? Stand up straight as you can manage. Try to find a posture that allows you to produce this register, okay? So that your air column is as straight as possible and you can reach this register as well as possible. Another important point is that you are clear about the fingerings. The fingerings for the high register on the saxophone aren't that easy because, as you know, we have these side keys here. You can see on mine, I have these palm keys here. That doesn't make sense for everyone. Basically, it's just a little elevation, so you can reach them a bit faster. If that's not an issue for you, then you don't really need them. The important thing is just that you know exactly which fingerings you have, right? We have D sharp, we have E with the top side key pressed down, and we have F. And of course, if your saxophone has a high F sharp key, then F sharp as well. Some time ago, I received a pretty neat tool. I'd like to show it to you here. And that is this stamp. This stamp isn't just any ordinary stamp. Basically, it has the saxophone fingering chart on it. Now, right? And you can very quickly stamp it into your sheet music and then mark the necessary fingering right there. In the description below, you'll find exactly who made the stamp and where you can get it. Furthermore, it's of course important that you have a stable embouchure for the high register. Embouchure is a very, very variable topic. I've talked about this in many videos already. Here, I'm assuming a classical embouchure. That's really important for you to keep in mind as you listen to what I'm telling you now. For me, I found that it works well if I bring things together a bit more. You know, if I make things a bit tighter, I have more control that way and I can create a nice, fast airstream, a nicely focused airstream. And another good thing about this is that my muscles are well activated and there are no extraneous noises. Because maybe you've noticed, even with many professional saxophonists, especially in the classical field, there's a lot of extra air noise, right? There can be many reasons for that. Partly because very hard, very heavy material is being played, and also because people want to achieve that big, fat sound, but in doing so, you kind of lose some of the lightness. So if you really focus here and combine that with the next point I'm going to tell you, conditioning, meaning enough practice so that you actually train this, then you can avoid that extra air noise, which often happens in the higher register when you're playing very loudly. The correct position of the mouthpiece in your mouth. The guideline is about 1 centimeter, or basically about the width of a fingernail in here. Still, you have to experiment yourself to see what works for you. The further you go in, the louder and stronger the sound gets, but it also becomes more unstable. Unstable meaning it can easily break off. If you go too far out, the sound just becomes thin and doesn't sound full. Too far in. Too far out. Continuous airflow. I talked a lot about how you can practice that in the last video. We're playing a wind instrument. What's important is this air, and maybe even, especially when you're starting out, fast air. Imagine fast air. The air needs speed. And when you activate the air like this, then automatically, if you want to play with fast air, you also automatically have more body tension. Because if you want to keep that up, your body activates itself. Of course, you can also stand on your tiptoes to consciously activate your support. Yes, the secret ingredient that really makes the difference for me, that allows me to play very, very bright, loud, and powerful in the upper register, is a bit more support than usual. So really try to have tension in your body and be well engaged. Of course, all within a healthy range. So you can't just play through like that for 10 minutes straight. You can do that, but afterwards you'll probably be completely wiped out and you'll need to see an osteopath just to release the tension in your body. So healthy tension. But when you're playing really high, which is usually just a few spots in a piece, then you really try to have full tension there. It's like in sports. When the moment comes where you have to show what you've got, where you have to prove yourself, when the soccer player has to sprint, that's when you mobilize all your strength and go for the note. Da. Fa, 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 fa. Finally, let me just say, it doesn't matter if your saxophone is silver-plated, gold-plated, nickel-plated, copper-plated, sandblasted, I don't know what, or made of plastic. It really doesn't matter at all. If you don't meet this requirement, then the high register won't sound good. Then you won't be able to get the potential out of, say, a gold-plated instrument. All right, that's it for today. Glad you were here. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you have any feedback, that's what I live on, that's my fuel, write it in the comments. And yes, there will be a little worksheet for this video as well, available in my school community that's starting soon. I'm still looking for 20 people for that. A few people have already reached out. The group will be starting soon. And yeah, there we want to inspire each other, exchange ideas, learn together and from each other, and it's going to be a great thing. Costs €5 a month, you can cancel monthly, and just send me an email if you'd like to take part. I wish you a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. And with that, it is time to bid farewell. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye to everyone. It has been a pleasure, and now we must part ways. So long, and take care until we meet again. Farewell for now, and goodbye to all. Bye, bye.